The Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business podcast brings you a unique view of Mesa through its vibrant business community and the subjects that are important. The podcast is produced in the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Media Studio, sponsored by the University of Phoenix. Our podcast is hosted by Mesa Chamber of Commerce CEO Sally Harrison. Please enjoy this episode of the Mesa Chamber Inside Business podcast.
Hi, I'm Sally Harrison, President and CEO of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, and joining me today for our podcast is Randy Spencer with Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Teen Centers.
How are you? Good to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. I've had the pleasure of knowing you for, I don't even know how many years now. A long time.
A long while.
Yeah.
It's been a great journey so far.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all that you do in our community, and I'm glad you're here because we have stuff to talk about. A lot.
I look forward to more journeys together.
Yeah, well, thank you. So, Randy, you've been an incredible force in the music industry for over 30 years. That's a long time to do any one thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, you've worked alongside...
I need a nap.
Yeah.
Yes.
A nap or an app? Probably both.
Yes.
You've worked alongside Grammy Award-winning and multi-platinum selling artists, songwriters, music producers. I mean, you really have done it all.
Kind of like a little bit of Wizard of Oz behind the curtain of sorts.
But you've helped develop
I've seen a lot.
Countless musicians and bands, secured record deals, like long-lasting career stuff.
It's been a privilege. You know, the music industry is a fascinating, strange, wonderful, enigmatic business. Mm-hmm. And to be a part of discovering a lot of talent and helping artists execute their goals and providing opportunities for them has just always been a blessing.
That's very cool. Well, I've heard some of our staff sing, so you probably won't discover anybody here, but I'm glad you're here anyway. So today, you're bringing that same passion and experience to work at Alice Cooper Solid Rock Teen Centers, which is such a blessing that we have one in Mesa. But you help create powerful opportunities for youth through music, mentorship, and fundraising partnerships. So we're going to talk about that.
Cool.
All right. We're excited to have you here. So let's talk about this journey. So for those who aren't familiar, can you give us just an overview of what Solid Rock Teen Centers is?
Yeah, Alice and Cheryl Cooper created Solid Rock Teen Centers in 1996. This is our 30th anniversary as a 501c3.
So exciting.
And we wanted to create a safe space for teens to spend their time after school. And as Alice and Cheryl did a lot of research, and they discovered that 25% of teens were involved in sports after school, maybe theater, drama, and that left 75% of kids with no guidance, no passion, no after-school activities. There's 400,000 youth across Arizona without an after-school program, and we want to be able to create a safe space for those 75% of kids to spend their time and then also learn art, music, and dance completely for free.
That's so unique.
And within that, more importantly, create better people and help kids overcome their obstacles and challenges. And how can we make the community better by making people better and helping kids overcome homelessness or depression, or if they're doing super great in life, guide them to jobs, college scholarships, etc.
That's awesome. It's so special. When I first learned about Solid Rock years ago, not 30 years ago, but several years ago, I just felt like, what an opportunity for students, for kids that just don't ever have that in their life. And for people to care about them.
Yeah.
I mean, to have that special place, but to really have adults and other kids that I've been there. You just feel like they're one big family.
We have the most great-hearted staff and volunteers and sponsors who are so genuine. And that pattern's after Alice and Cheryl. I mean, they're pillars of the earth. Yeah. And people who know them know that they're really kind, caring, amazing people involved in philanthropy around the world.
That's very cool. Well, you have some exciting events coming up, including Christmas in July and then the iconic Christmas pudding, which are concert fundraisers. Can you tell us more about what's planned and how these events support the mission of Solid Rock?
Yeah, so we do an annual concert called Christmas Pudding. Every year. It's about 2,600 people sold out, and that's our main fundraiser. And Alice just joins a bunch of famous musicians, and we have a whole hodgepodge and of people coming out, whether it's Larry the Cable Guy or Johnny Depp or Joan Jett or Sammy Hagar
So much fun.
or Korn, just a whole variety of people, and everybody comes together every year to raise money for the centers. And the kids get to perform dance and music. They get to watch behind the scenes of what it's like to be put on a concert and
Right.
get involved in lighting and sound and all the behind the scenes aspects.
That's cool, because not every student or every kid is going to want to sing. There's other options for them.
Behind the scenes, there's hundreds of different types of jobs.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on July 9 at our Mesa Teen Center, we want to open it up to the community because a lot of people might not have seen our center yet
Right.
or know much about us. So we're partnering with the Mesa Chamber of Commerce in the city of Mesa and having people come over and just kind of hang out like a mixer.
You are really close to us.
We're right down the street, sort of.
Yeah.
Country Club
Yeah.
and First Street next to the famous Blue Adobe Girl.
Yeah, it's a good place
Best
to
enchiladas
be.
in the valley.
Yes, the stacked enchiladas.
Vicky
I think.
didn't even pay me to say that.
No, it's a great place. And how long have you been there?
14 years or
We
so.
did your ribbon cutting. It feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah, so no, Mesa's been open now for 3.5 years.
Okay, yeah.
I've been at the organization about 14 years.
That's awesome. Well, you've had the chance to witness a lot of growth and transformation at the teen centers. Can you share some success stories maybe that really stuck with you over the years?
Wow, we have
Just
we
a couple.
We have so many. I mean, I'll just use one story. I'll call a kid named Steve for protecting his anonymity. And, you know, Steve and his dad came in one day, and his dad was completely exhausted looking for a safe space for his son. And he said, my son likes certain kinds of music. He's bullied for it at school. He doesn't have any friends. We heard about this place. We're looking for a place that he can hang out. And he goes, he likes Yes and Jethro Tull and Rush and kind of prog rock, if you will. And none of the kids at school know who they are, don't like that music. And we were wondering if you have any kids that like that kind of music that my son could get to know and become friends with. I said, probably about 28. He said, 28. And I said, well, maybe 35, 40. And I said, what are you guys doing tomorrow? And I called about 7 kids and asked them to come over the next day and meet Steve. And they all jammed with him and organically became friends. And here's the highlight of what we do is 2 years later, Steve's alive. Steve's got friends. Steve's got a better relationship with his father. He's happier. He graduated high school. We're helping him get a college scholarship. And he's on his way to success. And our teen center has been a large instrument of, you know, his, not only his vocation, but his life and his future. And again, we want to change lives, and that's what our metrics are all about, is changing lives of teens.
That's a very cool story. Any other stories you want to share?
A young kid named Marcus who's struggling with cancer, who's an amazing drummer, and is becoming...
Did he play...
you probably have seen him
yeah.
at our Christmas concert or our Koopstock concert in Mesa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Crazy talented young kid, and he has really not only embraced drums but embraced the recording studio. So now he's becoming like a little mini Rick Rubin, and literally behind the scenes teaching other kids to record and
that's
guiding other
awesome.
kids, you know, how to record music and arrange their songs. And he's just a real special kid, and
That's
he's
cool.
been really lifted up a lot about our center.
That's awesome. How's he doing?
He's great.
Good.
Yeah, he's in a really super good
Good.
space.
That's awesome. Well, for anyone listening, I mean, whether they're an owner of a business or a parent, just a community member, what are some ways that, you know, just the average person could get involved or support the work that you guys are doing at Solid Rock?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers, and that could mean anything from checking in kids to playing drums to doodling art and or playing foosball, air hockey with kids. And as you do that, you bond with kids and then maybe guide them to creating job resumes. If you are open to hiring a teen 16 or 18 or over and having them intern at your location or giving them a job, we would love for them to be able to apply at your location. If your employees want to volunteer, you can definitely call our office or email me, and we'll guide you to some opportunities.
Very cool. So just so the listeners know, I mean, if they're coming to the Mesa Center, are most of these kids living in Mesa?
We have kids from everywhere. We're all of our centers, we have three. We have Phoenix, Mesa, and Goodyear, and all of our centers have kids from everywhere. What's kind of cool, when we opened up Mesa, a lot of kids from the Phoenix Center started coming to the Mesa Center and vice versa because they wanted to jam at our open mics, or maybe they have a drummer that lives in Chandler and they go back and forth and record. But we have kids from Tempe, Guadalupe, Queen Creek. The majority are from Mesa and from the Mesa Public Schools area, but we have kids from everywhere all over the valley.
Okay. Well, you mentioned all three of your locations, which now includes Goodyear. So
Goodyear opened about June?
a few months ago?
Yeah, very recently, about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So thrilled to have a third center.
That's awesome.
Possibly two more in the future.
Nice.
We're planning and hoping for that growth, and that's our plan and hope to open up additional centers in the valley.
Well, what inspired the decision to bring the program to the East Valley, and what kind of impact are you hoping to see from that?
We wanted to come to Mesa for a variety of reasons. There's a large need for kids here for an after-school program, for something positive to do. The school district had a great, strong vision to support us, and we're inside a Mesa Public Schools building.
Right.
Mayor Giles and his team and the current team have been really supportive. Mesa Chamber of Commerce and all the businesses out here have been very supportive. And we just saw a whole swell of interest. And with all the exciting activity that was happening a few years ago, that ASU was building a film school, we were like, all these things were, all this creative activity was happening in Mesa, and everybody was just saying we could just be a
Timing was
giant
good.
common part of all this. It was really exciting for us and
That's
for
cool.
the kids to be able to have access to all those things in addition to our center.
Some things just line up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you mentioned the chamber. How does Solid Rock benefit businesses in the communities that you guys are in?
Well, we have a lot of different ways. I mean, kids need a place to go after 7 p.m. when our teen center closes. So I hope they go down to a lot of local businesses and get Gus's Chicken or whatever their favorite place is.
Sure.
You know, and then parents drop off kids, and then they need a place to go down the street and shop, or go check out some of the local merchants, or go get a meal when they have downtime, or go get a gift for their friend or their family. So we do see a lot of economic development in those areas, and we have a lot of events that, you know, draw a large number of people, such as when we draw 3,000 people at our golf tournament. That means all those people often need a hotel. They often need another, you know, meal to go to. They're in the Mesa area for 2 to 3 days, and you know, it's definitely increasing the economy, and we want to see everybody have a surplus.
That's awesome. Well, you've worked with so many talented people over the years. What's one piece of advice that you give to young people, or really anyone just trying to find their path?
Well, I believe in please and thank you, certain things like that make a significant difference, right? If you show that consideration to people, it'll come back to you. But the old adage of working really hard, you know, and then also, I guess a lot of this is for the younger people, but communication is so important. And today, just picking up the telephone versus a text, just to hear the persona of a person's voice, or how they really care about a project, or how they want to bond, you know, closer with somebody that we're doing business with. And you can also accomplish maybe in a 3-minute call the same thing you can accomplish in 16 emails back and forth. So it's efficiency as well.
Yes, true.
And they do say time is money, right?
Well, and I think you can maybe read into somebody's voice, right?
Right.
If they're in a good place or a bad place.
Right.
Yeah, you can't really do that through text.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you've worn a ton of hats through your career. I mean, we've talked about a handful, right? But outside your work with Solid Rock, like, what else do you do? What other projects and passions are you involved in?
Well, I have a side business called Spencer for Hire, and I'm very involved in the community of creating live music events, and I do that a lot for the city of Goodyear. We had Jordan Sparks a few months ago at a festival which drew 13,000 people, and I occasionally book music for the city of Mesa and some other folks, and doing something in Dallas at a corporate event for a mortgage conference. We're going to have a large national band, so they'll hire me to kind of be the middleman.
Very cool.
In addition to that, I love to watch my beloved Yankees on TV. I'm a New Yorker, and hang out with my wife and family. And
your newer wife,
yes,
right?
we've been married now for almost 2 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's an angel and a half. She's a Dodgers fan, so
Oh, gee.
I have to get ribbed a lot by being a Yankees fan through that.
Yeah, I
but
can imagine.
She's a wonderful gal.
Well, it's nice that you can still live together.
Yeah, we don't throw bricks at each other, which is nice. We can be civil baseball fans.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to learn more about Solid Rock, I know you have a website. And you're probably on all social media platforms, but how can people reach out to you?
They can call our office, 602-522-9200. Ask for me. I'd be happy to chat with anybody. They can go to our website. On YouTube, we have a ton of videos which feature interviews with Alice, the kids, and different stories of success. Of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram, etc.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the incredible journey and the impact of Solid Rock Teen Centers and your insight into success and community involvement, because I think that's as important as anything. It's clear your passion continues to open doors for that next generation, and I thank you for that, because our teens go through a lot, and I think COVID kind of did some of them in, as far as like being so frustrated to be stuck at home.
Yeah, if we can talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
COVID has been really challenging for kids. We see kids come in and they haven't been outside for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's tough.
And they've been so struggling, and our center's been a haven for them to be able to build that socialization, and that's mental health improvement, literally just by being able to meet friends, or just being able to like create art or string a guitar.
We're not meant to
etc.
be isolated and stuck at home, and especially teenagers.
Correct.
It's not healthy.
Yes.
Well, I encourage everybody to check out Solid Rock Teen Centers online at AliceCooperSolidRock.com. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for your support.
Thanks to our listeners for tuning in. And let's do this again maybe in a few months, and we can talk about what's next.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
Be honored to.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This has been a Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business podcast. You can find all podcast episodes at iTunes, Spotify, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. Content of this podcast is copyright the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, unless otherwise noted.